couple more minutes. We've got a few more people wanting to join us, or we're expecting to join us. So we'll just give it a couple more minutes and then we'll get started. Thank you for your patience. Jen, should we just get started?
Hi, Helen. Yeah, that's fine. We are recording, so if anyone joins late, I can always pass them on the recording at the end.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Well, welcome. Thank you. Okay, so welcome to tonight's session. It's really just to give you a brief oversight of what we do at the UTC as part of our SEND offer. As Jen said, please type anything you have into the chat and I'll happily, hopefully answer everything at the end of the session. It's just really a 10-minute kind of run through of what to expect if you're thinking of sending your child to the UTC. So here we go. Just please bear in mind that it is being recorded and keep your cameras and your mute buttons on, please. Thank you very much. Okay, so currently we have 3 members of the SEND department. There's Lauren Taylor, who is our SENCO. There's myself, Helen Bullman, who's the leading learning support. And Hattie has joined us just since January, so she's only a couple of weeks into the role. Myself and Lauren have been at the UTC right from the beginning, so we've got a good experience of what the UTC is, what it stands for, and what we can offer. Okay, so what happens when students with additional needs transition to us? So initially, we'll invite you all to a SEND team meeting. Hopefully this can be done in school. We normally do them about May time, to be honest. So it's just an opportunity to get to know yourself. Sometimes the students come, sometimes it's just the parents. And it's just a bit of an information gathering session, what your child currently receives support-wise, what you may feel like your child needs. And it's just an opportunity to come into school really and meet with us. We can do these on Teams, obviously, if it's more appropriate. Yeah. So the information, so we'll gather all the information, current support, what additional needs your child has, and then we transfer all of this information onto our database. Now we call this our code of practice. It's basically a list of students, what their additional needs are and how we can best support them in the UTC, but most importantly in each and every one of their lessons. It's a go-to point for the teachers. So all of the teachers in all of the subjects will have this information. They'll then be able to know if, for example, if any student needs a different coloured piece of paper, or if they need text that they're using on the board handed out in paper form, if there's any chunking, you know, where bullet points are used better than, you know, just giving out big chunks of text. The database obviously is updated by yourselves. Okay, well, not personally, but you know, the information that you give us, we constantly update. I mean, this is changes on a daily basis. So if there is any information that you think, you know, once your child has started, oh, I forgot to tell them this, or you know, something has changed, then absolutely please feel free to email us. We have got a specific email address, but you could, you know, just email myself or Lauren or the office, and that information will be passed to us. Also added to the database, the code of practice, as we call it, are the targets. Now we set these 3 times a year for everybody that's on the code of practice. 3 small targets that are obviously achievable, but we generally set them in, 1 for English, 1 for maths, and 1 a pastoral behavioural target. We set them at the beginning of the term, and then we review them at the end of the term. Now these are set and reviewed by the subject teachers. Things like, you know, make sure they start the task on time, make sure people are turning up to their lessons on time, make sure, you know, some of the targets can be, you know, if they're not that confident, we can give them a target of try and, you know, put your hand up and answer some questions during the session, during the lesson. These are sent out to yourselves in letter form, just so you are aware of them and you can talk over them with your child. But we also get the student voice, so we will share them with the student within school, go through them, make sure they understand them, and make sure how they understand how they're able to achieve them, just so they are aware of them and they can be working towards them. Okay, so I'll just go over just literally what we said. So we do this by getting to know your child, speaking to their teachers, monitoring their achievements, and deciding what your child would be best working on as a whole staff team. Your child would be set 3 targets per term relating to areas of the school, including reading, literacy, numeracy, and social skills. Your opinion is important to us, and we will share our initial target ideas with you by letter. You will be asked for feedback on the reply slip. The SEND team will take your feedback into consideration, adapt the targets where appropriate, and then discuss these targets with the child, just like I said here. Okay, so communication. You will be invited into various drop-in sessions throughout the school year, a bit like a touch base with the SEND team, and also to get to know other UTC parents that may have children of SEND. We actually at the UTC cover nine local authorities, so we have children coming as far up as Berwick and as far down as Darlington. So we do, lots of different local authorities have slightly different offers, and they have slightly different sessions that run for students that, you know, sometimes it's just really beneficial to chat to other parents to find out what their children are involved in, and, you know, find out lots of different things that are happening across the boroughs. We've done coffee mornings, we've done various forums when we have guest speakers in. To be honest, we haven't actually done that in the last year or two due to COVID, but we plan to get some guest speakers in, maybe from the SEND IAS team, where they can come and share, you know, some information specifically to the councils. We pride ourselves on open communication, encourage you to contact us. Like I said before, we've got a specific email address, but, you know, please feel free to ring us, email us with any worries or queries. Personally, I'd rather, you know, iron out any small issues before they become big ones. As stated on the PowerPoint, we can organise individual meetings as yearly progress, or, you know, just telephone calls is probably the way that most people like to contact us. We're also available at parents' evenings if you wish to speak to us alongside the subject teachers. So before starting at the UTC, all of our students will sit an on-screen assessment in reading, literacy and numeracy. So these assessments provide us with a standard age score. And what we do with that score is we look to see if we have like a cut-off. It's about 85, and if anyone is below that number, we look to try and put some intervention in. It generally tends to be reading intervention, literacy intervention, or the numeracy, and we do this probably. Some students are receiving an hour a week, so we take them out of one of their lessons and provide them with, say, for example, some additional numeracy work, or we can take them out for shorter periods of time, say 3 or 4 times a week for just the 10-15 minutes, just to give them some intense work on, for example, their reading. The intervention is provided by myself and Hattie in the small groups, but we tend to like to do it on a one-to-one basis, just to make sure that, you know, everyone's getting the individual support that they need. Sorry, I know that was very quick, but does anyone have any questions? Either in the chat, or feel free to unmute if you would like to ask a more generic question. No, other than that, I don't really have much more to say or much more to tell you. But if you are considering your child, you know, coming to the UTC in September, then please feel free to ring up and ask to speak to myself or Lauren prior to you joining.
Helen, do you want to just type in the contact email address there into the chat so any of the parents can take it down? Thank you.
I will do. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If there is anything, sorry, I think someone's just typing there, so I'll stay online for a little bit longer. I hope it was useful, and I do look forward to meeting with you all in May.